Almost ready, fellas. Just getting it shared around a little bit. All right, everybody ready? All right. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live. I'm rolling solo tonight. My buddy Ryan Lambert, my co-host, is out west shooting animals. I hope he shot one today. I don't know, but someone tried to hold this down by myself tonight. Welcome to KBN Live. If you're just jumping on, please help us out and give this a share. If you're listening to this on the podcast, help us out and give us a review over there on iTunes or Google Play. Hey, if Steve or Cody, if one of you guys is listening to this while we're doing this, turn the volume all the way down. I'm hearing an echo somewhere in there. I hope it's not me. But yeah, we're anxious to welcome two special guests to the show tonight. Steve Owens has been on a few times. Steve, thanks for coming back. And Cody Brock from Branson Tractors. Thanks for jumping on with us tonight, Cody.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
Yeah, man, should be a good show. I mean, there's been a few posts about the new series that's coming up, so we wanted to have you guys on to talk about it a little bit this fall. So, Steve, I'll let you kind of jump off with it. I know people see online series and they kind of get hesitant because I don't think this is the same as every other online series that's been out there. So why don't you give us a little heads up on what this is and the new twist on it?
Yeah, thank you guys for having us on again and letting us talk about this. This is a Dugout Tri-State series, and yes, it is online and it's a monthly format. It's I understand there's a faction of people that don't fish on lines, and there's a faction of people that does, and that's quite a large faction. That's not really what it's designed for. The reason this was started was, Jamie Koza with Dugout Bait and Tackle. He's new to the kayak industry, and down there in Marietta, I get a chance to go down and do retail work with them for being on staff and everything, and just a part of the family now. And I'm telling you, kayaking has just blown the doors off that shop. They were already a very, very, very successful high-end tackle shop. And, Jamie is a giver by nature. He just is. And he was like, what can I do to give back to these people? I want them to win, raffles and stuff, because he sees all of that at the local grassroots trails and stuff that he gets to go to. And, we just sat down and, just started about a series. It obviously helps with advertising and things like that. But online tournaments, inside the premise of understanding that online tournaments are very fun, and they're designed, in my opinion, or the reason that I use them or like to fish in them is to get out and just do something and to fish against your pals and just for bragging rights and things like that. Well, with this one, he understood that, and when we put it together, it just started dough-balling, or snowballing. Sorry,
dough-balling. We'll take dough-balling.
Yeah, hey, yeah, that's it. I like them. So, and it just got kind of built on, and a couple of other key people gave us some good advice and things like that, and just structuring it the way we did is designed to get you out and fish, which will get you out to buy more baits from our good sponsors and everybody's local trail sponsors and things like that. And what it would also do was start letting us get kayaking put out there to some people that don't even know it exists. Like, I know Branson Tractors knew because Cody's an angler, but like Carl Black Chevrolet, they knew Jamie sold kayaks. They had no idea that the world we have exists and that we're this organized and this dedicated and ahead of the curve already on a lot of things in the industry. And they just had never met us and had the opportunity to experience us and appreciate us, and now they do. So this kind of happened organically and wasn't really an intent, but we're grateful to have it. it's an opportunity, like I said, I'm doubling back, to show other entities what we actually do, which will in turn help all of us on state level, local level, and national level. Hopefully garner more support from these sponsors that we're all going out and buying the same things as other boat clubs and stuff like that do.
Yeah. So let me. I was going to get to this later, but I'm going to ask Cody right now. So you mentioned the Chevy dealership, Cody, here with Branson Tractors. We've talked before on the show, Ryan and I, about the need to get this sport even bigger, pulling non-endemic sponsors. So what made Branson Tractors interested in jumping in, especially to an online deal like this as its first time?
So I'm not going to lie to you, Jeff. I get asked
jumping in, especially to an online.
There we go. Turn that down.
Getting that echo?
Now we're good.
Okay. So I get asked all the time, Jeff, like, how does a tractor company get into the fishing world or the fishing market? Kind of where do you fall in, fit in? And I guess this all came up a couple years ago. A guy a lot of you probably know, Andy Middleton. Andy actually approached me and he's like, Cody, we're looking at starting this club and we're looking for sponsors. And so we kind of got into Andy's club at the time. It was Real Crazy Kayak. And there was actually a guy that was part of the club, and he reached out. He said, hey, Cody, look, I bought a Branson. And he had actually started a YouTube series on how to dig a pond, or how he dug his pond with a Branson tractor. And this series was from the beginning to the end of how he actually dug his pond at his home. And it really got me to thinking, and then a year later, I signed my first boat dealership, and he actually used the Branson tractors to move the boats around. And then he started selling tractors to other people he knew at marinas and so forth. And they started using the tractors to actually move boats into the water, move them around their yard. So it really got my wheels turning. And this year we partnered up with a Pursuit channel. And we're doing a lot of national TV advertising with Pursuit, and looking at the growth in the kayak world, looking at some of the other fishing events we do. I guess it just really led me to start looking more on the local level and how this kayak series is really blowing up. Now, I did not know Jamie Koza till spring of this year. And I actually showed up to meet Jamie, was going to talk to him a little bit about Branson and kind of what we were doing. I wound up leaving there with a new kayak. 3 weeks later, I went back down there, left with another kayak for my wife and daughter. And it's just kind of blown up from there. So I guess I kind of got pulled in. I had always competed before in boat tournaments and so forth. So this whole kayak world was brand new to me. But I guess where we fit in, our market is the 3 acre up to the several 100 acre commercial guys. So, as I started this first go around with Real Crazy, we sold a tractor. Then I had another dealer. He said, hey, so-and-so sent their friend, he bought a tractor. Well, before you knew it, in the first year that I did Real Crazy, we sold 4 tractors in the first season that I can account for. And I guess I kind of see like the base going to Jamie and supporting his business. A lot of these guys were really, really loyal. So I told Jamie, I said, hey, look, let's try to grow this. Let's build it. I'd like to get in and do more and more. And I really hope over the next 2, 3, 4 years, this thing can evolve even bigger.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense, I guess. I mean, your bass boat tournament world, your kayak tournament world, it's still the same type of people you're talking to. I mean, outdoors type folks, blue collar worker type folks that'll be interested in your business. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't know in the beginning how it would start out, but a lot of these guys, they own property, and that's most of those guys can use a small tractor.
Yeah. And Steve, from the tournament standpoint, this first Tri-State Series, the first 3 months you're doing it, it looks like you're using kind of strategically capitalizing on what's already going on. Is that right?
Yeah, like within this tournament, it's Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia waters only. because, we wanted to give back to the people who were giving us foot traffic and sending friends and family. Well, then, as we were planning this, we had multiple people from other states pass through Dugout and say, hey, we saw you guys on social media from some of your staff, and, they came in and would spend, $20 to several hundred. And he was like, I want to get those people as well. So we started looking, and, all these states, we've got the Hobie TOC, a Hobie Coosa. You got the Bassmaster Bass Nation on Chickamauga, November 21st. You got the KBF National Championship. You got the Tennessee Cast State Championship, which is 102 anglers, which is doubling, as our Bass Nation Tennessee State Championship. Our local trails, period, like us, we're in the interim stages of planning, but we typically in TBKA have a November, December, or January, 2 events out of the cold water months, so that we don't have to jam pack so many events in the fall or the spring and summer months. And all that's going on. And now some other clubs in Tennessee have started cold water tournaments like us. And then Tennessee Bass Nation, December the 12th, is going to be on Del Hollow. That's going to be our first real Trail Series event. Ryan and I were talking about, what to do to possibly, get something going to have an early state championship next year, so that it's at the forefront of the calendar and not having to fight for the premium months in the fall like everybody else. And the only way to do that was to have a few wintertime events, and we're going to do that. And so then have an early state championship. So in doing all of that, as you're traveling in to fish these events while you're pre-fishing, you can jump an hour event for $25. At the end of the month, the overall winners will be paid that cash. It's, it's other than Tourney X fees, it's 100% payout. We're not keeping anything. So, you can fish those. And while you're pre-fishing, sandbag your fish until Sunday evening. Sunday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern, I'll export the standings, and first place during that week will get to go to the end game, which is a 30 angler free tournament in January. So first, second, and third for that weekly standing will get first from Branson Tractors a $100 Visa gift card. Second, we'll get $50. Third place will get a $25 Visa gift card. So, and then from there, Dakota Lithium has just really, really stepped up and given us a lot. Carl Black Chevrolet in Kennesaw has given me, I think, 30 free oil changes. Plus, they put $1,000 into the championship. And first place in that free championship for those 30 anglers, which will consist of one weekly winner for the 14 weeks of the series, the top 5 in each month of October, November, and December.
Oklahoma. You think about football?
I told you, man, I'm biting my nails here. So that's 14 and 15. So that's 29. And for the 3-month series, the overall big bass will get the 30th spot. And first place in that event is a Hobie Pro Angler 12 with kick-up fins. First place is $1,000, and third is going to be a high-end rod reel combo. Shimano stepped in and given me, I think 14 reels. We've got rods from St. Croix, Shimano, G. Loomis. As I said.
So you're telling me for $25 you got a chance at all that?
Yes, it's a haul, dude. I'm telling you, it's nuts, and it's. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that have been given to us for this event, and large part is, it's 100% the fact that, Jamie Koza is doing what we're doing at Dugout down there.
And I'll tell you something. How long's Dugout been around?
1954. Jamie took it over 35 years ago, I think, or something. He started working there when he was like 14 years old. A live bait and tackle company. I believe it was his uncle. I may be misspeaking. He took it over after school, worked 7 days a week for 11, 12 years, and developed Kennesaw Bait Company. That's a live bait and tackle or live bait company. They supply almost 800 people with live bait in the southeast area. And from there, he started selling rods and reels naturally because he's a bait and tackle store. And this was back in the days of the All-Star rods when they were the deal.
I still got one of them old All-Star rods.
Yeah, I got 2 from Nick Brown when I first started kayak fishing, and I loved them, and they both sank in Chickamauga. So, so anyway, he quickly saw, you can't carry everything. So he transitioned into G. Loomis, Shimano, St. Croix, capitalized on the high-end market, and just, focused on being one of the best at a select amount of things. And then the tackle shop opened, and it's just amazing.
I'll tell
It's
you
a
what,
really cool place.
I ask you that because I've never even heard of Dugout until the last couple of years, and it seems like in the kayak world, the right couple of people have kind of gotten involved with them, and it's just blown up. It's kind of the place in the Southeast down there.
Yeah. It's again, it's the diversity. It's the commitment from the anglers. I was talking to G and a few people in Texas today, and we were just talking about like the cult-like following that we get in some of these areas, and we've got them. And down there's so much water. There's lakes, there's rivers, and those guys just come out in droves. And again, I know it's not a surprise to you, but kayakers stepping up and being that loyal is what really surprised them, because they have a great boat following down there. Jamie helps out a lot. His daughter Lee Rose fishes, Carson Newman team here in college in Tennessee. His son Carter is a very, very successful and accomplished Georgia high school angler. He's a senior this year. I think he just finished 6th on Lake Guntersville in the FLW event, and that was due to having to do the last 10 or 12 miles with a trolling motor because of a steering failure. Just family's just a bunch of great people. And
that's cool, man.
And that benevolent kind of attitude just comes back to them.
Hey, and speaking of great shops, my buddy Duke Tran just became the manager over at Mariner Sales in Dallas-Fort Worth, another great shop over here in the South that supports kayak anglers. So
that place has got a couple grand of my money.
Yeah, shout out to Duke, Mariner Sales. But
yeah, congratulations, Duke.
Yeah. So yeah, Cody, back to you. Branson Tractor stepping out for this series in the kayak world. Do you guys foresee yourselves getting more involved, kind of depending on how this goes, in 2021?
Yeah, I really think we do. Like I say, it all just kind of got started a year or so ago, just kind of out of the blue, and we kind of evolved this year. We've done a little bit more, and as we keep rolling with this thing, you never really know from a corporate standpoint. You never really know how much return you get on what you do. But I can say, kind of like Steve was saying, I didn't know Jamie Kozer or the Dugout before this spring. And now I kind of feel like I'm part of the family. I find myself down there 2, 3, 4 times a month, going to the local lake, so my home lake, I guess you would say, is Lake Wise. We've got a place down there. And man, I'm seeing more and more people on Wise with Dugout bait and tackle stickers, whether it be on their kayak or on their trailers or on their truck. And if this following is as loyal as what I've seen the last year or two, I really see us evolving over the next 2 to 3 years. And there's really no telling what we may wind up doing. But I've got a feeling this is a start to some really great things.
That's awesome. It's good to hear. And like I said earlier, it's always a good thing to see the non-endemics, to speak with the technical jargon, getting involved with our sport, because that's the next step to making this thing even bigger than it already is. So exciting stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of your buddy, October 1, we're opening a brand new manufacturing plant just outside of Dallas. We're going to be a little east of Dallas. And we've already got one in Portland, Oregon, but the Dallas, Texas plant is going to be a brand new one for us come October 1st.
All right, bringing some jobs to Dallas. Nice.
Yeah, we'll do our best.
Jim said he's been hearing the Dugout forever, and I'm sure it's been around forever. I just meant nationally. It seems like you hear a lot more about it now than before. So, it's always good to see businesses blow up like that. Catherine Field earlier said she'll be at these tournaments, but she's at every tournament. She's a world traveler. I got to meet her at Dardanelle. That was one of the best parts of being there that week. So I finally got to meet her. So that was cool.
Katie, she's just about qualified for TOC, isn't she?
Yeah, she's right there on the edge. She's trying to get there.
She's there. So am I. I'm rough. It's gonna be rough.
Yeah, I'm out. That's my only. I'm not gonna make Coosa, so I'm out. I didn't make it at Dardanelle, but I still had a good time there. It was a big
I got to get a top 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, so not looking good.
But I made it to yours, dude. I made it to the Bass Nation. I qualified at Logan Martin, so I'll be in Dallas whenever it is, February, March. If you guys are watching, shoot us some questions. Katie, as always, with the KBN Media Relations Professional, dropping all the links in the comments. So, Katie, we appreciate you doing that. as always. But if you guys have any questions for these two, shoot them to us. Like I said, help us out and give us a share. I'm attempting to stream this thing to YouTube tonight as well as Facebook Live. So I don't know if it made it over there or not. I'll check it later. But so far so good on the Facebook side of things. So we appreciate everybody that's watching. If you are watching, let us know where you're watching from. Let's see. What about the rules for this tournament, Steve? Are they pretty much generic, compared to your standard kayak tournament, 5 fish, measuring boards, that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's pretty standard. It's cookie cutter from what we're all doing. I don't think there's anything that's going to flip anybody up. We allow motors in this.
Okay.
So it's just, I guess the only thing is probably your identifier is just going to be written on anything. I don't even think there's a trolling law in there. So yeah, it's pretty standard. I threw up probably about 25 rules, maybe 30, and they're pretty easy. I mean, it's entry level stuff. So again, this is designed to, because one good thing about online tournaments is that it teaches you, by screwing up, you do it online versus in a Hobie event or something like that, which is good because I always fish Casey Reed's tournaments when we first started kayak fishing, and I learned I screwed up a lot, and I got taught there how to do that. So that's another good thing about some online stuff, put it in perspective and keep it what it is. So
yeah, that's I say everybody, a lot of people started out in onlines. I started out before onlines could even be a thing. I started off with SD cards, but you know what I'm talking about, Steve.
No, what did you say?
SD cards, like sticking them in
it. Okay, yeah.
Sticking them in a laptop. There was no such thing as online tournaments back in the day. Back in my day.
Our first TVKA season, it was ran, by Brandon Oglesby and the guy who started the club, that local shop, Brian and Seth Lassiter. And 2 times in the tournament, when I took over the last event and the classic, a guy came up and had the old school camera with the SD card in it. And we were like, we got no way to put this. So we were judging his fish on a little bitty screen like that. Luckily, they were dinks, so it didn't matter. But
back when we were doing it, dude. Back when we started, we had buckets on tables, 5-fish bucket, 4-fish bucket, and you dropped the whole phone or SD card in there, and then we counted them up. Spent 2 hours in the parking lot. So we're thankful for Tourney X and iAngler and all this stuff that it exists now.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey, Katie dropped the link. She said my YouTube thing's working. So if you're watching over there, that's awesome. I'll check it out later and see how they went. So yeah, any questions about this event? If you guys are watching, shoot those to us. I'm going to pivot off of this since I got Steve on here and ask him about the 2021 bass schedule and ask how that's coming along. Is that coming together?
At warp speed right now. So, a lot changed in about a week and a half. We got the green light to just, go ahead and proceed with certain specific things. There's always the investment there for this coming season. And so we actually, are in discussion with multiple cities, picking the lakes and stuff like that. And again, with the classic spot being revealed, it's just, there's a lot of stuff on the plate for John and some others to get. Once they get some of those things narrowed down, then, quickly, hopefully very soon it'll be announced. And, the schedule wise is going to be, I believe we get to add one more open event.
It'll be 6, or is this just going to be 5 again?
Exclude the classic. There'll be 5 after that.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm pretty certain that's what we're working on right now. So
excellent.
So that'll be good.
Yeah, I guess Logan Martin this year was sort of the classic, right? The opener wasn't really.
Yeah. It was just
I got you. Well, that's gonna be good.
So we're working together with with Hobie and KBF to hopefully if there are any overlapping events that they'll be separated by a great margin of land. So,
right, geographic, yeah. That happened a few times this year where there was one in California and one in South Carolina. That doesn't that doesn't really matter if that happens.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah.
That's always the goal, but stuff just happens. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know what Hobie's going to do or KBF. I'm wondering how many events they'll have. If Hobie stands pat with the 9, if KBF draws back a little bit, I'm curious to see how that goes. What do you think is going to happen?
I think there'll be. I mean, I think every entity's got room for improvement. Period. But, I think some lessons or, some things have been seen, especially with the changing landscape of just, the civil unrest and everything. People are starting to stay closer to home. I know we've had really good turnouts at all of our national events in Bass and Hobie. But by and large, I think that's just people are just ready to get the heck out,
Right.
And the value that we place on these events. So, I mean, that's good. It speaks volumes about our competitors, both entry level and seasoned people, because, there's a lot of new people we meet on these trails. So I'd say there'll be some scaling back on KBF and just prioritizing, regional stuff and the same, I can't speak for Hobie, but, I'm sure, when you're in certain positions, you look to grow and do things better, such as, what we're trying to do with Bass and the state level stuff. So, which, by the way, Missouri's got theirs coming up, and New York just had theirs, Colorado, and I don't know if Nebraska's had theirs yet, or I think they have. So there's 15 people that qualified for the Classic in 2021. So. I think that puts that around 130 something. I think we got 102 anglers in ours in Tennessee right now, so that'll be 10 people. Alabama qualified 5. Georgia's is October the 21st on Lake Sinclair, and it's an open style, so just pay your nation and state dues, and you can show up and fish that one. If you can't fish Chickamauga, which is going to be the last qualifying event on the schedule, to qualify for the Classic Championship. So.
Yeah, awesome. We got a question about the Tri-State Series from Jesse Halverson. He said the weekly winners with this event, if the person who led week 1 is leading week 2, do they win both weeks?
You will win the cash or the prize value, but you only get one championship spot, so it'll go down to the next person.
But you can win the gift card 2 weeks in a row.
You
if you're
can,
both weeks.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, that way, we want you to put your fish up, Yeah. Obviously, if you're traveling for one of these national events, you don't want to, you want to hold them till Sunday, and that was by design, so you can do all your pre-fishing. Like actually September the 26th, this Saturday, will be day 1 of the first month and week. That week will go from Saturday to the following Sunday, not the 27th, but October the 4th. That way you get your entire week of pre-fishing on, the Coosa chain down. And then, Sunday evening, after you get off the water, get ready to collect your check, you can go ahead and upload your sandbagged fish and sweep in and win some good stuff.
Jesse said 108 inches going up on Saturday. He's laying it down.
Jesse's going down the road somewhere then, I guess. I've seen his new jig, and I made fun of his jig, and he's been putting up some hammers, so
all right.
Yeah, he's been doing pretty good. So
I don't know if y'all can see the comments, but Jim Clark just said, if you've never woken up at 2 a.m. by Steve dragging a mattress into the kitchen to sleep by the fridge, you ain't kayak fished. Is that true?
That's very true, man. It was. Right. I think it was me and Jim, Matt Van, Russ Snyder, and Adam Reiser, and Daniel Davis sharing a house, and I snore now, but I didn't then. And Daniel Davis sounds like a demon, and I could not sleep. And so I just said, screw it, and grabbed my mattress. Jim was on the couch, so I pulled it to the living room, and just there it was. Put it in the little kitchenette area. I was out. So
that's all right. You got to do what you got to do. You probably slept good with the hum of that refrigerator right there on you.
I did. I actually slept an hour into the tournament, and everybody stepped over me and left. So
pulled you a Lambert.
Thanks, guys.
Pulled you a Lambert on that one.
yeah, no doubt. Yeah. So yeah, there's a reason we don't stay on the road together much. I would wake up at award ceremony every day. So yeah.
That's cool, man.
Can't hang.
Any more questions out there from anybody? We won't keep these guys too long tonight. I just got back from a little weekend vacation with my wife, so I'm ready to get in my own bed and go to sleep, so I ain't going to be on here too long.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I would like to bring up something else, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
quickly.
Go for it.
A lot of us kayakers, Picasso, has been gracious enough to, put us on their promotional teams and everything like that, and, Aaron Martens has been going through his battle with cancer, and it seems like he's on the up and up and recovering with 2 brain tumors. His new spinnerbait just came out, the Hawk Snatcher series. I love that name. And they're doing an Aaron Martens benefit tournament on Connect a Scale. I think it's the app. Connect a Scale. It's a measure board tournament, catch, photo, release, 5 fish. But none of all that's incidental. What it is people are raising money to help this man, a beloved person in the community, with a ton of medical expenses. It's a $50 entry fee, and 100% of that money is going straight to Aaron Martin's family. And within that, there's a guaranteed $4,000 cash payout. First place is like $2,500. A Stella reel from Shimano and a Conquest spinning rod from G Loomis Shimano. I mean, that right there is $1,500 or $1,700 combo. It pays out 4 spots, I believe. But from that, there's an auction series inside the tournament description, and it's Aaron Martin's benefit tournament. You can look that up on Google. But inside that, there's guide trips you can auction for on certain lakes. But then I'm talking about like KVD, Mark Zona, Jordan Lee, Wheeler, Mark Daniels Jr., Brian Latimer. All these people have offered a day of fishing with them in an auction-style event. So you can win things like that. And those guys are giving 100% of that money to Aaron Martens as well. So, it's a $50 entry fee, nationwide tournament. You can fish, bank, boat, kayak, anything like that. All waters are open. So just do, your catch photo release on that little app, and there you go.
That's awesome. And Katie dropped the links in the comments for us. So thanks again, Katie.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And, anglers, we step up all the time doing stuff like that when it comes to charity events. So, yeah, get over there and sign up for that. Even if you can't fish, still help a guy out.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, doesn't that auction open up like this Friday, the 25th?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know the answer to that.
I think the auction does open this. I think I saw where it opened this Friday on the 25th.
Okay.
And
pays out 177 spots with prizes. So
wow.
Some awesome. There was some awesome prizes.
Hell, I can do something. I can win something there.
Yeah, I feel you.
It'd be like getting a national championship spot. Submit one fish and you're in.
Oh, hell.
That's cold. Sorry. Hey, Jim Clark said, thanks, Steve Owens and Jeff Malott, for keeping us going for all we've been doing. I don't know what he's referring to exactly, but you're welcome, Jim. Hey,
you've been flirting with me over text.
Yeah,
so
and you know what,
Steve,
let me tell you something that it seems weird because we've been doing back and forth on KBN for like 2 years. But at Dardanelle, I also shook Jim Clark's hand for the first time. So that was pure gold. That was worth the trip down there.
It's not swollen or anything like that?
No, I didn't have a rash, nothing like that. It was unbelievable. No, we had a great time hanging out down there visiting. A few more guys showed up. So
I'm telling you, that fool in person is one of my favorite people. It just is. So yeah, I enjoy him a lot. So
yeah, and shout out to Jim. I hope his dad's doing better. I know he left because his dad was under the weather, so I hope he's doing better.
Yeah. Hey, I'd like to give a big shout out to dugout pro staffer Randall Wallace. He just became back-to-back Spro kayak champion on Lake Gunnersville.
There you go.
Congratulations, awesome. Randall. Big hammer down there.
Hey, and shout out to everybody that's, AOY races are wrapping up all over the country and local trails. The one here in Arkansas, 2 of them just wrapped up. So congrats to Justin Brewer, Garrett Morgan, who won those 2 respectively. I know, I think Missouri, Lance Burris won that one. I don't know if Oklahoma's is done yet, but everywhere all over the country, if you battled it out and won your local AOY, props to you. So congrats, because I know these clubs are getting bigger, the competition's getting tougher. So to make that happen is an accomplishment in itself.
Heck yeah. Hey, real quick, guys, if you got any lakes in mind you would like to see, some national entities go to, shoot us messages and stuff, because we don't know every lake in the world, and I've been getting some, and I'm getting an education, and I'm really enjoying looking up all the history of these lakes. So shoot us messages, guys.
I done told you, Steve. Both shows.
I know. I've got this right here is the entire notepad full of your suggestions. So.
I know. I'm always campaigning. I'm always campaigning for poor little Arkansas. Lambert might hate it, but I'm trying my best. Always trying my best. Before we get out of here, Cody, you got anything else you want to say about Branson Tractor? No relation to Branson the city, right? I'm sure that's somebody's name.
No, it's not, but we get asked that all the time. We actually just had our 2019 national dealer meeting in Branson, Missouri.
Okay.
So made my first trip to Table Rock, made my first trip to Branson, Missouri, but we are no relation to Branson, Missouri.
But, anything else you want to say about the company? Anything else coming up from you guys?
I mean, this has been this 2020 has been a tough year. All of our national type stuff has either got postponed or canceled. it's been a heck of a year, and I just we've grown tremendously over the last 20 years, and I just hope we got countless more to grow, and I hope we are able to grow with this sport.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, hey, we appreciate you getting involved with kayak fishing. I'm sure now you're hooked on it. You're going to be neck deep fishing in them yourself. So
yeah, listening to Steve talk earlier, I wish I would have had a couple of online before I got thrown into some of the events I got thrown into with no experience, because I learned a lot the hard way.
Yeah, you learn quick that catching the fish is only half the deal. You got to learn how to get those pictures and get it submitted, right?
Well, the worst part is when you got a couple of 20-inchers and you start getting text messages from a tournament director that you got no identifier. That'll make you learn really quick.
Yeah, that's all right though. Later down the line, you won't do that again. You won't do that once.
I can promise that won't happen again.
Yeah, we showed Terry Golden how to submit picture good, and he started kicking our ass after that. So we got to be careful who you teach what. Remember that, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Hey, real quick, if you're going to sign up and fish Bass Nation on Chickamauga, November the 21st, November the 7th is the deadline to sign up.
Okay.
If you're not a Bassmaster member already on the $15 nation level, you'll need to do that by November the 6th, because there's a processing period there so that you'll show up in the system. So just plan on November the 5th, making certain you're registered. November the 7th is the payment deadline. And you will do that on the Bassmaster website. Once you pay there, you'll go into the database. Dwayne Wally will be sending an email with your name, and he will manually add you to Tourney X. So that password feature is there just for his protection of anglers just joining, since the two softwares aren't linked. So November the 7th is when you have to be paid. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. Well, gentlemen, thanks so much for taking time to come on here tonight. I don't know if Ryan's going to check this out later, but we missed you, Ryan. But I hope I held it down okay. I appreciate you guys coming on and visiting about this series, and it was great to meet you, Cody. And hopefully we can see you out on the road here pretty soon, Steve. I don't know next time I'm going to see you. Probably be in 2021, but I'm sure we'll visit.
Yeah, it'll probably be Dallas.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll visit some before then via the text or something like that.
That's it.
Yeah, and if anybody that watched this tonight, we appreciate you guys, and as always, Katie, thank you for helping us out in the comments. We're gonna wrap this thing up. Thanks again, gentlemen, and we are out of here.
Thank you.